This is KCBD News Channel 11 at 6.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Testimony continues in the fourth day of the sentencing phase of Hollis Daniels' capital murder trial. Today, a forensic specialist presented the jury with photo evidence from the scene of the murder.
KCBD News Channel 11's Shaylee Sanders joins us live from the Lubbock County Courthouse with what the jury saw and heard. Shaylee?
Karen and Abner, another emotional day in the courtroom today. A number of Officer Floyd East Jr.'s family members left in the middle of testimony in tears because what they were hearing was just too graphic. So today, a forensic investigator presented those crime scene photos to the jury, but those were presented on a screen that was faced away from the gallery. So reporters like myself and a number of family members who were in the gallery couldn't see them, but we could hear what the photos were describing because the forensic investigator was asked to describe in detail what exactly jurors were looking at. At one point, I saw a juror have to look away after seeing a photo of the bullet wound in Officer Floyd East Jr.'s head. Today, we also heard phone calls Daniels made to his father right after the arrest, so just hours after that deadly shooting. His defense attorneys described those conversations as irrational. Daniel's father tells him people have been calling because they've heard about the shooting on social media. Daniels responds, quote, "Wait, there's an article that says Hollis Alvin James Reed Daniels has murdered a police officer in Lubbock, Texas? Oh, that's kind of cool." Daniels then asked his father, "Do you think if I get arrested for a murder charge of a police officer and possession of a controlled substance that I will be able to get into another school?" Daniels also says, "I think they're going to kick me out of Texas Tech High School." Daniels' defense draws attention to this statement because Daniels is a sophomore at the time at Texas Tech University. Then shortly after that phone call to Daniels' father, LPD detectives walk in the room and Hollis Daniels says, "Conclusion?" And when the officer says, "You're being charged with capital murder, your bond is $5 million. We're also told by officers who took the stand today that Hollis Daniels made a number of derogatory statements to them while in the vehicle being transported first to the Lubbock Police Department and then to the Lubbock County Detention Center. We were also told by an officer that when Hollis Daniels was being taken from the vehicle to the jail, there are a lot of reporters out there with cameras, and he asked, "Am I going to be famous?" This trial will resume at 9 a.m. tomorrow, and we'll continue to bring you the very latest updates. Karen and Abner.
Thank you, Shaylee.